My name is Priya, and this is my story. I remember moments, vivid and unsettling, when the world just seemed to grind to a halt, like someone had pressed pause on my life. Everything around me would continue, but I was stuck, frozen in place. It happened most often in class, during what should have been normal everyday lessons, or even when I was just hanging out with friends, casual situations where I should have felt comfortable and relaxed. Someone would innocently ask me a question, a simple inquiry that shouldn't have caused any alarm, and suddenly, without warning, my heart would begin to race, pounding in my chest like a drum gone wild. It was my heartbeat symphony of panic. My palms got sweaty, clammy, and slick, a physical manifestation of the anxiety bubbling inside me. My mind would go completely blank, an empty void where thoughts should have been. The words I wanted to say, the answers I knew, vanished into thin air, leaving me speechless. I'd just stare blankly, like a deer caught in headlights, completely paralyzed by the sudden wave of anxiety. And I'd feel a hot blush creep up my neck, betraying my inner turmoil for everyone to see. It wasn't just school where this happened, it followed me everywhere. Even at family gatherings, surrounded by loved ones, I couldn't escape it. An uncle or auntie would ask a simple question about my studies, something perfectly normal and expected, and boom, the panic would explode within me, a sudden and overwhelming surge of anxiety. I desperately wanted to share my thoughts, to engage in the conversation and connect with my family, but a wall went up, an invisible barrier between my brain and my mouth, preventing me from expressing myself. I'd end up mumbling something short and inadequate, barely audible, feeling incredibly small and utterly silly, like I was a complete failure at communication. Other kids, the ones around me, seemed so effortlessly confident, so at ease in social situations. Talking seemed so easy for them, like breathing, while for me it felt like climbing a mountain. I often wondered if they were born with some innate ability, with a special superpower of effortless communication that I simply didn't possess. Being an Indian girl navigating the complexities of an American school, I desperately wanted to connect with my peers, to build friendships and feel like I belonged. But this fear, this social anxiety, was like an invisible barrier, keeping me isolated and alone. It wasn't that I was shy all the time, in every situation. There were moments when I felt confident and outgoing, but the surprise of being put on the spot, the unexpected attention, always undid me, unraveling my composure. I constantly worried that people thought I wasn't smart, that they judged me for my hesitation and silence, when really, beneath the surface, I was just drowning, struggling to stay afloat in a sea of anxiety. I was drowning in the pressure of unexpected attention, the feeling of being watched and judged. I knew deep down that I needed to face this fear head-on, to confront the anxiety that was holding me back. I needed to find my voice, to unlock the words trapped inside me and express myself freely. Even when I wasn't ready, even when my heart was pounding and my palms were sweating, I knew I had to try, to take that uncertain step forward. Because staying silent, remaining trapped in the darkness of my fear, felt even scarier than trying and potentially failing. There's a reason our brains freeze when we're put on the spot. It's not about being smart. It's our brain's ancient alarm system, the fight, flight, or freeze response. For many of us, speaking suddenly triggers freeze. Our thinking brain gets sidelined, and all our thoughts jam up. Imagine your brain as a busy office. When the alarm rings, everything stops, files scatter, and communication jams. That's why your mind goes blank. It's not a personal failing, it's biology. Understanding this made me feel less alone. The real goal isn't to stop the alarm, but to turn down its volume and reassure our brain we're safe. That's how we get our thinking and talking back online. The first step to thinking faster, especially when the stakes are high, is calming the inner storm that rages within us. It's about finding that still point amidst the chaos. When panic hits and your mind starts to race, no smart thoughts can form, logic takes a backseat, and clarity becomes a distant memory. I learned a simple trick: slow, deep breaths. It's a tool you can use anywhere, anytime. Inhale slowly, hold, exhale even slower, letting the air out bit by bit. This tells your brain you're safe, that you're not in immediate danger, and it can relax. It's like pressing slow motion on your racing heart, giving you a precious few seconds to regain control. Each calm breath slows the frantic ticking of the clock in your mind, allowing you to think more clearly. Another trick: focus on something physical, something you can see, feel, or touch. Your feet on the floor, feeling the solid ground beneath you, the pen in your hand, noticing its weight and texture. It's like dropping an anchor, in a stormy sea, preventing you from being swept away by the waves of anxiety. Grounding you in the present, bringing you back to reality when your mind wants to wander. These aren't about erasing nerves, pretending they don't exist, but managing them, learning to channel that energy into something productive. Even confident speakers feel nervous. It's a natural human emotion. The goal is to make friends with your nerves, to acknowledge them without letting them control you. Like learning to ride a bike, it takes time and practice. You wobble at first, you might even fall a few times, but practice brings balance, and eventually, you'll be riding smoothly. Calming your body, releasing the tension in your muscles, gives your brain space to breathe, to process information, and to come up with solutions. To switch from panic to thinking, from reacting to responding. That pause is everything. It's the space where clarity emerges. It's the first step, the foundation upon which you can build, to talking smarter under pressure, to communicating effectively even when you're feeling overwhelmed. And it works. It's a reliable strategy, even in the scariest moments, when you feel like you're about to lose control. Once the panic fades, the next challenge is the jumble of thoughts in your head. My mind felt like a tangled ball of yarn, impossible to find a starting point. The key is to look for one loose thread, the main point you want to make, or the simplest part of the question. Don't aim for a perfect answer, just something clear. Use a simple structure like prep point, reason, example point, or grab onto the question itself. Address X, then Y, or pros and cons. Sometimes, just repeating part of the question buys you time. The goal is to make the task smaller. What's the one thing I want to say? This process brings order to chaos. Once you have one clear strand, it's easier to weave it into words. Clarity starts with a single, focused thought. That's how you move from tangled to clear, and it gets easier every time. Before learning these strategies, being asked to speak in public felt overwhelmingly like being lost in a dark and twisting maze. My thoughts raced uncontrollably, desperately searching for an exit, but I just felt completely trapped and utterly helpless. But with calm, focused breathing, and a quick mental plan formulated, the daunting maze transforms before your very eyes. Suddenly, there's a clear and well-defined path leading directly from question to a satisfying answer. A simple, easy-to-remember structure really helps. What? So what? Now what? Clearly state the main idea or point you want to make, then explain precisely why it matters to your audience, and finally, suggest a clear next step. This simple framework guides your thoughts logically and effectively. You really don't have to be brilliant or a genius, just clear, concise, and well-organized in your thinking. You absolutely can create your own path every single time. That's truly the heart of talking smarter, even under pressure. Small changes, seemingly insignificant at first glance, can lead to a big shift, a monumental transformation in how you speak and present yourself. It's about unlocking your potential, one small step at a time. I used to think confidence took years of practice, countless hours of preparation, and a slow, arduous journey. But you can start building that foundation, planting those seeds of self-assurance in just a few minutes. It's more accessible than you think. It's about having a toolkit, a set of strategies and techniques for those sudden spotlight moments, those unexpected opportunities to shine. The first times I tried these techniques, I still felt nervous. My heart raced, my palms sweated. But something changed. A subtle shift in perspective, a newfound sense of control. I took a deep breath, a conscious effort to calm my nerves, grounded myself, found my center, and connected with the present moment. Used a simple structure, a clear and concise framework for my thoughts, and managed to say something clear, something coherent, something that resonated. That small success, that tiny victory, felt huge, like a monumental achievement. Each time, with every small step forward, my confidence grew, slowly but surely. The spotlight felt less scary, less intimidating, more inviting, more welcoming, a place where I could express myself. People were interested in what I had to say, eager to hear my perspective. My thoughts became easier to untangle, more organized, more accessible, my path clearer, my direction more defined, my purpose more evident. My heartbeat still sped up, the adrenaline still surged, but it didn't drown out my voice, it didn't silence my message. This shift spilled into other parts of my life. I joined conversations, asked questions, engaged more fully, even enjoyed thinking on my feet, improvising and embracing the unexpected. I realized I had these tools within me all along, waiting to be discovered and utilized. The first few minutes of speaking, those initial moments of vulnerability, can reveal a hidden strength, an untapped potential, a superhero within. This journey from panic to confidence is for everyone. It's not about becoming someone else, but unlocking the person already inside you. Everyone has a unique spark. Sometimes anxiety dims it, but these strategies fan it into a steady flame. Don't aim for perfection, aim for connection and clarity. Every time you speak up, you're practicing and getting stronger. Celebrate small victories. Answering a question without freezing is huge. These tools aren't just for big presentations, they're for everyday life. Being able to think and speak in the moment enriches your relationships and lets your true self shine. Imagine welcoming the question, "What do you think?" as an opportunity. Embrace these strategies as companions on your journey. The power to speak with clarity is a skill anyone can build. Take a breath, find your thought, and let your voice be heard. The world is waiting. Go on, speak your spark.